The Lord be with you. A man was lying in bed one night. He thought to himself, "This is very strange. Here I am lying in bed, and I don't have a worry in the world." Then the thought came, "That worries me." What keeps you up at night? Comedian George Gobel, now that's a name from the way past, isn't it? Comedian George Gobel admitted that he worried about keeping up with his neighbors, especially around Christmas time. He lived across the street from Lou Costello of Abbott and Costello fame. As his first Christmas in his new house approached, he saw Lou Costello standing in his yard, setting up quite an elaborate display of lights and reindeer and sleighs and angels, because Costello really got into Christmas every year. Well, what was Gobel going to do? He couldn't compete with anything like that. He finally thought of the perfect solution. Gobel did nothing for Christmas except to put a sign up in his yard. The sign said, "See our display across the street." We worry about keeping up with our neighbors. We worry about what others might think. That's the source of toupees and comb-overs all over the world. Have you ever changed something about yourself in the hopes of others liking you more? Have you ever laughed at something you didn't think was funny just because you didn't want to be the only one not laughing? Have you ever dressed a certain way or done something stupid just to fit in or be accepted? I have. I once served a church where all of the men drove SUVs. Don't ask me why. I didn't drive an SUV. I didn't fit in. So guess what I did? Yep, I traded my car for an SUV. Oh, I tried to justify it all sorts of ways. It will come in handy when I need to haul something. I can be safer in this vehicle because it's bigger, safer on the road. I sit up higher in it, and I like that. I can see more of the road ahead of me. But not even deep down, I knew it was nice to fit in. Surprisingly, to no one but me, I still didn't fit in. And I knew it. Have you ever listened to certain music that you didn't like just because your friends thought it was cool? Have you ever wondered about what people would think if you're still saying the word cool? Have you ever not worshiped as expressively on the outside as you felt on the inside because you'd feel embarrassed? Thomas à Kempis made it very clear that Christians are not called to fit in. Christians are called to a different way, held to a different standard, set apart to live according to God's heart. He wrote, quote, "Jesus today has many who love his heavenly kingdom, but few who carry the cross. Many who yearn for comfort, few who long for distress." I have to admit, when was the last time I prayed a prayer asking God for distress? We continue. Plenty of people he finds to share his banquet, few to share his fast. Everyone desires to take part in his rejoicing, but few are willing to suffer anything for his sake. There are many that follow Jesus as far as the breaking of bread, few as far as drinking the cup of suffering. Many that revere his morality, few that follow him in the indignity of the cross. Many that love Jesus as long as nothing runs counter to them. Many that praise and bless him as long as they receive comfort from him. But should Jesus hide from them and leave them for a while, they fall into complaining or become deeply depressed. Those who love Jesus for his own sake, not for the sake of their own comfort, bless him in times of trouble and heartache as much as when they are full of consolation. Unquote. It would be so much easier to put up a sign that says, "See our display of the Christian life in our neighbor across the street." But we are the ones called to be living witnesses, to be a light shining on a hill, to be a beacon of hope, calling the world to Jesus Christ. If we ever find ourselves fitting in with the world around us, I hope then we will find ourselves lying in bed and worrying about that. That is worth our worry. Amen.